Mixed martial arts is without a doubt the most masculine sport on planet Earth. MMA is all about violence, pain, and bloodshed. Fighters enter the cage knowing they will kill or be killed. And the fan base is made up of Trump supporters, gym bros, religious zealots, and racists. And that is why, over the past week, the entire MMA world has been obsessed over one thing: Conor McGregor's meat.
I can't quit staring at Conor's dick. I can't stop.
McGregor's
Little ding dong.
has taken the hyper-masculine MMA world by storm. And us fighting fans, who are all very, very straight by the way, just can't take our eyes off of Conor's Irish sausage. But the talk about the heat that fighters are packing under the cup has been a discussion that has been hiding in the collective mental closet of the MMA fanbase for years. Many content creators, like the MMA guru, Lucas Tracy, and Left Lane MMA, have been asked for a ranking on the best and biggest schlongs in the UFC, but they've all been ducking the topic, like how Jones ducked Aspinall. They've instead been sticking to easy stuff, like fight predictions and 10 gorillion different GOAT lists. But not me. I am not just the best currently active MMA YouTuber. I am also the bravest, and I'm here to prove that today. I'm willing to give the MMA fanbase what they have all been asking for. I'm here to take that first step, just like how Jeff Molina walked, so that Peyton Talbot could run. So, ladies and gentlemen, but mostly gentlemen, from the creator of such classics such as the John Jones Boyfriend tier list, the best Dricus du Plessis edit of all time, the worst gooners in the UFC, and why religion is the best base for MMA, here is, for the first time, the official UFC meat-sized tier list. So, starting off the list, we have the man around whom this list was built, the notorious Conor McGregor.
Yeah! Look at this! You
Now, I'm sure that if you're a totally heterosexual mixed martial arts fan, you've already been exposed to that photo of Conor McGregor exposing himself. So, with Conor's meat, you've gotta admit, that thing is a
titanium bone.
I mean, with just that photo alone, we can confirm that the McMeat can outlift MMA Joey. Going off of size and girth, it is undoubtedly in the A tier. It is also worth noting that since Conor McGregor wasn't cut, that means his meat is almost guaranteed to be bigger than Khabib's. Since, he isn't missing the tip. But, as Azalea Banks commented, that thing is pretty crooked. And we also need to take into account that Conor was waxed like a Ken doll, so it may look larger than it actually is. So yes, although Conor McGregor is towards the top, he'll be missing out on a spot in the S tier. But now, moving over to a former opponent of McGregor's, and the man who is headlining UFC 318, we've got Max Holloway. At the weigh-ins for UFC 218, Max Holloway was the unfortunate victim of an incident involving the towel, during which Justin Gaethje jerked the cloth away at a critical moment, leading to the Hawaiian hot dog saying aloha to the world. And sadly, for the besides Ilya Topuria and Alexander Volkanovski and prime Dustin Poirier, he simply ain't blessed. While he may have been shrunken down and shriveled up for the weigh-ins, Jerome Holloway isn't maxing out anything. But of course, there's a happy ending to this story, because he left Justin Gaethje face down on the canvas for pulling the towel away, literally turning him into the highlight. And since Justin Gaethje is on the record saying stuff like this,
one man can hold you down, two can you.
I am pretty sure that Justin Gaethje knows deep down what Holloway can do to him after rendering him unconscious. In the end though, sadly for Holloway, he will have to go in the C tier. But anyways, let's move on to another guy besides myself that makes jokes about what men can do to other men after putting them to sleep. And that's Sean Strickland.
Cool. Why does Kevin Holland not like you?
Oh, Kevin Holland. He's Kevin Holland. I think I told him I could him in prison one day and it bothered him. But I'm just saying the facts, dude. I'm just saying the facts, man. If me and you were in a jail cell together and I wanted to, I could take that.
And Sean Strickland not only likes to talk about what he can do to Holland in prison, he also wants other men to look at his junk.
Annoys me, like, you'll be in a locker room change with the boys, right? And like, you're naked, and you'll get some people, like, they don't want to look at your they look away, they're offended by your and I'm like, dude, I take it as a personal insult if you don't want to look at my
And here's the thing, guys. Although we do not have any footage of the Sean Strickland schlong, we can infer its size based off the comments that Sean has made. Israel Adesanya's father trains at Extreme Couture, which is a very popular gym in Las Vegas, and that means Sean Strickland has seen the meats of many UFC fighters. And after comparing himself to others, Sean Strickland has admitted that he has a small peener.
Every time I make weight, dude, my is at least 1 inch bigger, and I got a little so, you know, I take every inch I get. You're gonna appreciate me for it.
So the obvious answer is to put Strickland in the C tier. But Sean's very heterosexual commentary on the meat of the guys he trains with is quite useful, as we can use it to help estimate the size of other fighters, which is going to be helpful for our next fighter, Francis Ngannou. As Strickland says here in this tweet, quote, "Telling Francis I feel bad for all his ex-current BFs. He says, Sean, when you know a woman's body, you can make her feel great with just a finger. Calm the down, Lancelot. You're a 6'5", 300-pound black man. Your finger might be bigger than my asshole. Yeah, UFC, that guy." So, what we can infer from this tweet is that Sean Strickland is jealous of Francis's size. And if you look at the rankings of which countries have the biggest meat in the world, you'll see that Cameroon comes in at number 2. This heavily implies that Francis Ngannou is not just one of the baddest men on the planet, but he is also one of the biggest, which is why he is going to be the first man in the S tier. Now moving on to another power puncher, we've got Ilia Topuria. And well, the future GOAT of the sport may also have the biggest meat currently active in the UFC, and we just don't know it yet. And you doubters may be saying, nah, there's no way Ilia's that big. He's only a 5'7" midget. But in an interview in the past, Ilia has said this.
Marbella, he's more Spanish. Yeah, I also, when I see myself in the mirror below my waist, I also think sometimes I'm more African than Francis Ngannou.
And while there may be no way to confirm this, like there is with Conor and Max, I ask you this: when has Ilia Topuria ever been wrong? Throughout his entire UFC career, Ilia Topuria has been manifesting what he has said. He said he was going to be champion before his fight with Volk, and he became champion. He said he was going to be the first one to KO Max Holloway, and that's what he did. He said he was going to knock out Charles Oliveira in the first round, and that's what he did. So, who is to doubt the pound-for-pound size of El Matador's chorizo? Which is why I'm placing Ilia Topuria in the S tier. Now, moving on ahead to another real African, we've got Dricus du Plessis. And yes, Dricus is going straight to the S tier. With Dricus, who else is packing a pecker that is so large that he needs his coach to check his cup to make sure that thing won't slip out during a fight? And you can tell based off of how Dricus fights that he's got some serious biltong down there. He always seems to be off balance and tripping over himself, which may be due to all of the weight between his thighs. But now that I've done 3 guys in the S tier in a row, let's move on to the guy in the micropene tier, which is none other than the Duck himself, John Jones.
I hate you.
Now, this placement isn't because I hate John Jones. I mean, I do hate him, and I think that he is a disgrace to the sport and should be spending all the rest of his life in prison. But I do have some crystal clear logic to support my placement. So, as you all know, John Jones has tested positive for PEDs multiple times in his career. Regardless of whether you think he took them intentionally or not, it is an objective fact that he had Turinabol in his system. And one major side effect of PEDs like Turinabol is that they shrink your testicles. This is because Turinabol replaces the role of testosterone in your body, which causes your body to stop producing testosterone, which then causes your male reproductive organs to shrink. That means that Johnny Meat, as he likes to call himself, not only has the metaphorically smallest balls in the UFC for ducking Tom, but literally has the smallest balls in the UFC as well, which is why he's the only guy in the micropene tier. Now, moving on to a fighter that John Jones would have a wonderful time watching, we've got Yoshinori Horie.
Huh?
Alright, you guys may have no idea who this is, so let me explain. Yoshinori Horie is a Japanese MMA fighter who has fought once in the UFC before, although he did lose and got released immediately afterwards. But prior to signing with the UFC, Horie did gay for pay to help fund his fighting career. So yes, Mr. Horie is a confirmed male adult star. But that's not the craziest part of Horie's story. After getting released from the UFC, Yoshinori Horie signed with Rizin. And do you know what Rizin did? They literally made a promo video around his gay for pay gig, and they gave him the nickname Hadaka no Ju o Motsu Otoko, which translates to the man with the naked gun. So, Yoshinori Horie is not only the only UFC fighter who is a male adult star, but he is also officially recognized and promoted by Rizin for his acting career. He'll also likely be fighting in Rizin again this year, so please subscribe to this channel if you want to see me make a video just about Horie's career before he fights once again. Anyways, we have seen the Horie hot dog, and it's a pretty good size, so we'll be putting it in the B tier. Now that I've finished my obligatory Rizin glaze for this video, let's move on to the fighter with the biggest meat in the UFC. So, at the number 1 spot, we've got Kayla Harrison. Do I even need to explain